Greetings, classmates. My topic is the special problem with long-term goals in the Sega reading. My name is Jovan Burton, and referencing pages 49 and 50 in the Sega reading. So, to kind of dive in a little bit into setting problem with long-range goals, some of the things that Sega pulled out was developing lifelong goals, preparing for success in college or career, and developing integrity. Now, for action researchers, setting long-term range goals can become problematic, mainly because of the time it takes to kind of develop it. And most importantly, if you're talking in reference to like a class that we have now, um, time might not be permitted to actually complete those tasks. So I do think it's important to set long-term goals, especially as a teacher and for your students. If you look at the 3 points that Sager makes, we want to develop our students to make long-term goals. It helps them in life and preparation and how they're studying. I know that one of the biggest things we have in education now is preparing students for success in college or career, and definitely setting goals for students or teaching them how to set goals can assist in how they prepare their lives and how they structure their lives so they can be successful in college or whatever career they choose, be it be military or something like that. And developing integrity just within yourself as a teacher, being able to stick to the plan and um, despite challenges that might happen as a teacher, you want to follow through with things, or in your research, you want to stick to your goal, even though you might run into problems. But also, for your students, the same thing that things might arise, it might have challenges, and you want to make sure that they know how to work forward through all that. Setting a goal and sticking to it. So here are some points here I pulled out. Setting long range goals is a challenge, but is necessary. So I'm a band director, and one of the biggest things that I'm challenged with is trying to bring students to a common place. One thing I have to acknowledge is that I want students to reach a certain place, and I have to set goals that are reachable for them. One of the main things that I do for them is put out worksheets or sign what we call them pass-offs, where students can see where they need to go and know what they need to do, understand that they need to work in their own pace, but they're working towards a direction. A second point would be finding value in the process as well as the goal. So, referring back to the Sega reading, he references NASA and how long it took to develop the necessary technology to travel to space and how painstaking that was. But once it was developed, it was very rewarding for NASA. And I kind of look at the same thing in my classes where we want to reach a musical goal, we want to reach a musical performance, and when my students are starting out, they're not able to maybe play those things at that moment, but being able to appreciate the hard work that they put into it, which helps develop great lifelong skills. Investing in skills that the student will value and reuse. So again, are we teaching students organization? Um, are we teaching students studying? So it's important to within their goal setting to understand the skills that are necessary in their goal setting, so that they can always come back and refer to them in their process. Develops great students and great teachers. So, to kind of finish this point out, teachers that stick to a task and set goals for themselves and set goals for their students definitely improves teaching for a teacher, but also improves success for a student. And most importantly, for a student, it improves them as an individual going forward. Assessing rate and growth. So this is an important one because if we're referring back to asking researchers straying away from setting long-term goals, part of the problem is, hey, am I reaching this goal in time? Is it taking too long? Am I moving too fast? So the first thing, understanding in action research that everything doesn't progress when we want it to and how we want it to. The second thing, if you look at the same way with the teacher or with a student, everyone's not going to reach the same place. So if you have a teacher that's involved in professional development, and learning a new skill, maybe a new way to enter grades or a new teaching strategy. We're all human, and so it might take a little longer than others, but sticking to the task and being able to get through everything and understanding, hey, I want to reach this goal as a teacher first before we even approach our students is important. Secondly, encouraging our students to understand that everyone's not going to reach the same place at the same time. So going back again, I'm a band director, and one of the things that I've started in the last year or two with my pass-offs, and to kind of give a little information what that is, students can work through my class through obtaining certain tasks, receiving grades for them, but understanding that they won't reach the same task at the same time. So with that being said, I encourage students to understand their weaknesses, understand their strengths, understand, hey, I need to work on this a little bit more than something else, and continue to work in your own pace, but make sure that you kind of push yourself so that students don't feel like, hey, I'm not getting something, I might not be that smart. So just kind of, so assessing the rate of growth to me is important to assess the individual student's needs. Every student should have their own growth progress, and it's something I firmly believe in, especially as a band director. But I think in any core class or any subject in school, I think that we can spend more energy addressing the students' needs and not, well, we have to get everyone to the same point, and understand that everyone just kind of won't reach that same point. Everyone might get there a little faster. I think, in my personal opinion, after reading the Sager readings, that it definitely would help with students feeling confident, understanding what the weaknesses are and willing to strengthen them, because it's not a competition in the class of who got the answer right first or who didn't get the answer right, but this works for me. And the last thing is progress, not pressure. And again, referring back to what I do in my classroom on a daily basis is, when a student gets something wrong, not scolding them for it, or hey, you have a failing grade or something of that nature, but hey, here's a grade for right now based upon what you've done. So the student will come and play something for me, and I'll say, hey, I see the good things that you did. Here's a grade for the good things that you did. All right, but I want to make sure you earn all the points. So let's go back and refer to this, and I'm assessing their growth rate and continuing to push them, as an individual, so that when they go back and work on their own, they're practicing at home. They're taking in the skills and the concept of how to improve themselves as a student, which goes back to the first topic of setting goals. They understand in the process of their setting goals that they have to work a certain way to get to those goals, and everyone won't work the same way. I do want to thank you for listening to my screencast, and have a good evening.